I'm 79 years old. My name is Gloria. I was married to a man named Teddy for 53 years, and I loved him. I need you to know that. But the morning after his funeral, I stood in my kitchen and realized I didn't know how I take my coffee, not how he took his, how I take mine. I'd been making his for 53 years, and I had never once stopped to figure out my own. I will never remarry. And when you hear why, you'll understand everything I'm about to tell you. Now, people hear that and they assume they know my story. They think I'm the lonely widow. They bring casseroles. They pat my hand at church. My daughter Diane calls every Sunday and says, "Mama, you should get out more. You shouldn't be rattling around that house by yourself." And I love Diane, I do, but she's wrong. I'm not rattling, I'm resting. For the first time in 53 years, I am sitting still in my own house, in my own quiet, and I am not lonely. I am something else entirely. Something I didn't even have a word for until about a year ago, but I need to tell you what 53 years of being a good wife did to me, and what happened when I stopped. Teddy was a good man. I need you to hear that before I say anything else. This is not a story about a bad husband. This is a story about a woman who forgot she existed. We married in 1971. I was 24. He was 26. His mother, Ruth Ann, pulled me aside at the reception and said, "A good wife makes a home run smooth. He shouldn't have to ask for anything." And I took that like gospel. I built my whole life on it. Every morning for 53 years, I woke up at 5:15. I started Teddy's coffee. Light, 2 sugars, same mug every day. I made his eggs scrambled soft because that's how he liked them. Toast cut diagonal, his vitamins laid out by his plate, his lunch packed even after he retired because he still liked having it made. You want to know when I ate? Standing up by the sink, whatever was left. I managed the house. I raised our 3 children. I kept the calendar. Every birthday, every appointment, every anniversary card that went out with both our names on it, though I was the only one who remembered. I handled Teddy's moods. When he was stressed, I made the house quieter. When he was happy, I kept the momentum going. I was the thermostat for that man's emotional climate, and he never once thought to check the temperature of mine. But here's what I need you to understand. Teddy didn't do this to me. I did it to myself, or maybe we did it to each other. He was raised by Ruth Ann, who ran her household the same way. His father never lifted a finger inside that house, and to Teddy, that was just how a marriage worked. And I was raised by a woman who did the same thing for my daddy. So we both walked into that marriage knowing exactly what it was supposed to look like, and we built it perfectly. A perfect machine that ran on my disappearance. He loved me. I know he did. He showed up. He was faithful. He worked hard. He held my hand at every one of our children's births. When my mother died, he sat beside me on the bed and didn't say a word for 2 hours because he knew I didn't need words. That was Teddy. He couldn't give me what he didn't know I needed. And I never told him because good wives don't need things. That's what I believed. In 2022, Teddy got his diagnosis, pancreatic cancer. And I did what I'd always done. I took care of him. Medication schedules on the refrigerator, doctor appointments in the calendar. I bathed him when he couldn't bathe himself. I fed him when his hands shook too much to hold a spoon. I slept in a chair next to his hospital bed for the last 3 weeks because I couldn't bear to be more than an arm's reach away. I didn't think about myself once during that year, not once, and it didn't even feel like a sacrifice. It just felt like, this is what I do. This is who I am. Teddy passed in March of 2023, quiet, in his sleep. I was holding his hand, and then the house went silent. I expected grief, and it came. Lord, it came. But underneath the missing him, and I missed him like a limb, there was something else, something I wasn't ready for, a blankness, not emptiness exactly, more like I'd been carrying a shape for 53 years, and now the shape was gone, and I didn't know what was underneath. He didn't leave me empty. He left me full of him, but there wasn't any of me in there. People asked how I was doing, and I said, I'm fine. But the truth is, I couldn't find myself. I didn't know what I liked for breakfast. I didn't know what I wanted to watch on television. I didn't know what time I wanted to go to bed. Every single preference I had, every choice, every rhythm, every habit had been organized around Teddy. And now Teddy was gone, and I was standing in a house full of his things, and I was a stranger in my own life. Then one morning, it was maybe 3-4 weeks after the funeral, I woke up at 5:15, same as always. My body just did it. I walked to the kitchen, reached for Teddy's mug, and I stopped. I stood there in that kitchen, my hand on the cabinet, and something just broke open, not loud, not dramatic, just a crack, like ice on a pond at the end of winter. I put Teddy's mug back. I took out my own, the blue one, the one I bought years ago at a craft fair and never used because it wasn't part of the routine. I made 1 cup of coffee, just one, and I sat down at the kitchen table. I want you to understand what I'm telling you. I sat down at my own table for breakfast for the first time in, I don't even know, decades. I couldn't remember the last time I'd sat down in the morning. My whole marriage, I'd been standing at the counter, eating over the sink, moving to the next task. And here I was, sitting. The house was quiet. The light was coming through the window over the sink, and the coffee tasted different when I wasn't rushing, when there was no one else to feed, when the morning was just mine. I sat there for an hour. I cried, but not because I was sad. I cried because I was meeting someone, and it was me. It happened in pieces after that, small things. I started sleeping on the middle of the bed. I started eating dinner at 5 o'clock because I wanted to, not at 6:30, because that's when Teddy was hungry. I watched a documentary about whales. I'd always loved the ocean, but Teddy didn't care for it, so we never went. I watched that documentary 3 times. Then spring came, that first spring without him. I went out to the garden I'd been keeping since 1982. Tomatoes, peppers, collard greens, all the things Teddy liked. I stood there looking at those beds, and I thought, I don't even like tomatoes. I've been growing food I don't eat for 40 years. I ripped out every bed, every one, and I planted flowers, zinnias, dahlias, marigolds, things you can't eat, things that don't serve anyone, things that are just beautiful. I spent 53 years learning how Teddy liked his eggs. I'm 79 years old, and I just figured out how I like mine. My friend Cynthia Barnes, lives 2 doors down, widowed, 3 years before me. She came over one afternoon and found me on the porch, just sitting. No book, no phone, just sitting. And she looked at me and said, "You found it, didn't you?" I said, "Found what?" She said, "You're not lonely, Gloria, you're free. and nobody told us that was an option. And I started crying again because she named it, the thing I'd been feeling but couldn't say out loud because it sounded wrong. How do you tell people that losing your husband was the worst thing that ever happened to you, and also the thing that gave you back yourself? How do you hold both of those truths in the same hand? About a year after Teddy died, Diane called, said there was a widowers group at the church, said I might meet someone, said, "Mama, you're too young to just be alone." And I laughed. I really laughed. I said, "Baby, I just learned how to make my own coffee. I'm not about to start making someone else's." Now, I want to be clear, I don't blame Teddy. Teddy loved me the best way he knew, and I loved him by giving myself away, because that's what I thought love required. We were both wrong, and we were both right, and neither of us knew any different until it was too late for us to learn it together. I miss him. I miss his laugh. I miss the weight of him in the bed. I miss the sound of his truck pulling into the driveway at the end of the day. I'll miss him until I die, and I have never been more myself than I am right now. Both of those things are true, both of them, at the same time. If you're listening to this and you're married, if you're making someone else's coffee every morning and you can't remember the last time you sat down with your own, I was you. For 53 years, I was you. I'm not telling you to leave. I'm not telling you your marriage is wrong. I'm telling you to find yourself inside of it. Don't wait for widowhood to discover what you like for breakfast. Don't wait until the garden is all that's left to plant something just because it's beautiful. Sit down, even if it's just for 10 minutes, even if the dishes aren't done, even if someone else is hungry. Sit down with your own cup, in your own quiet, and remember that you're in there. You're still in there. I'm 79 years old. I'm sitting on my back porch right now, drinking my coffee out of that blue mug. The dahlias are coming in. Nobody needs anything from me this morning, and the quiet isn't empty. It's full of me, finally. If this reached you, share it with a woman who might need to hear it.